Welcome back to the NHRA stage here, SEMA 2024, here with Bruce Bennett. Now, Bruce is a guy, if loose fasteners annoy you, they should annoy all of us, especially headers, stuff like that. It's going to cause a gasket to blow out or cause an exhaust leak, multiple other applications here. But Stage A Locking Fasteners, this is a fastener you're going to use, you're going to put it in, and you're not going to worry about it.
Absolutely. Just walk away and forget about it.
And these have been your life for how many years now?
This year will be 40 years.
Get right up in there on the microphone.
40 years. 40 years and 33 million locking bolts.
33 million locking bolts produced. It's like going by McDonald's. Billions and billions served, right?
Haven't had one come loose yet.
What was the original application for these? What was the original genesis of their development?
Well, 40 years ago, I put a new set of exhaust pipes on my Harley, riding around, and they fell off in the street. And I couldn't believe it. And I had just done it that day, and I know how to wrench a bolt.
Wow.
So anyway, one thing led to another. I stayed up for a couple of days and nights trying to figure out a better way to do it. And my 8th design was it. And so I named the company after my dog 8-Ball, who passed away that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's even cooler as far as the genesis of the name. Of those 7 attempts before you landed on the one that you knew was the right one, what did you evolve in the kind of setup of these?
Well, the first one I did, I put a hose clamp on top of the head and butted it up against the pipe. It was ugly, And then I drilled a hole in the head and used a Jesus clip.
Okay.
And that was ugly. And one thing led to another. I finally grooved the bolt at about 4 o'clock in the morning. And so I showed it to my dog.
Hey, check this thing out, 8-Ball.
Yeah, and that's when I knew she passed away. I go, well, let's see what happens.
And in terms of bringing the product to market, when did you know that this was going to be a hit? And did you ever, in your wildest dreams, conceive of producing 31 million fasteners over the course of your life?
Not then, but it was a hard product to start moving along with, because people will go, oh, I got wrenches, and stuff like that. You try to show something new to somebody that didn't exist before,
yes,
and they'll just nod their head and look at it. So we did a couple of trade shows and sold some stuff to Harley Davidson. So then I got in a plane, and not my plane, a plane, and flew back to all the GM, Chrysler, and Ford. I figured, man, I've got it, right? And I showed it to all the engineers back there, and they looked me right in the eye and said, none of our bolts ever come loose.
Never.
So I told them, I said, go out in the street.
Yeah, look at.
But those aren't ours. I'm not kidding. And I didn't have any money when I did this, so I sold my motorcycle, my Harley, and I paid for the first piece of tooling and the patent.
Wow.
And it's been interesting.
I bet it has been, and really we're talking about a couple of different things here in terms of A, the locking action of the fastener is killer, but B, to make a good locking fastener, you first have to make a good fastener, and that includes good material.
Oh yeah, everything we do is made in the USA. I refuse to go offshore, so I've been doing that. But everything is different sizes and different shapes,
sure,
but all with the same principle. Basically, keeping the bolt, put the bolt head on with wrench. We keep it there. Yeah. So it's like leaving a little wrench on the bolt all the time, banging up against it in a button or something, or strapping one from the other.
Where have these ended up that you didn't expect to see them?
On the space shuttle.
Get out of here.
Yeah, there's a $3 million camera on the robotic arm, and it floated away. And so I make bolts for that, and NASA, if they're listening, they didn't have a sense of humor. I told them, for a nickel you could put a string on this thing, but it didn't fly. But they buy a couple hundred every couple of years. I don't know where they go, but they're up there somewhere.
That's pretty astonishing that they're floating around above planet Earth.
Yeah, that camera just went by. But then we've done a lot of different applications. So we won't do nuclear control rods. We'll stay away from that. Radioactive is not my forte. But we hold all the beer can making machinery together.
Wow.
There's a 6,000-pound flywheel on a canning machine.
Okay.
And when the bolts come loose, that flywheel goes anywhere it wants.
Oh yeah, if it's spinning, it weighs 6,000 pounds. Yeah.
It goes through the wall and cuts the owner of the company's Corvette in half. Okay, but he's got my header bolts on his car, and so I go down to visit, and he's got this pile of metal on top of his desk, and it's headers with my bolts on it. He says, "This is what I want on my car." Yeah, and we've been building them for 25 years.
And the variety of sizes, of course. How many different sizes do you offer? I mean, it's endless, hundreds and hundreds, right? Thousands, yeah.
But we got some big ones, so there'll be some on a hydroelectric plant. They're about 4 inches across the flats.
4 inches across.
Yeah, and they hold the propeller on the bottom of a dam, and the propeller's 130 feet in diameter. Big stuff. Now they've got 100 or so bolts to hold this thing on. And they're claiming that the thing is, when they can't tighten these bolts, and to tighten them, they have to drain the lake.
They have to drain the lake to tighten. Yeah, so that's suboptimal if they loosen up.
So it's an out of sight, out of mind customer because we haven't built any more for them because they finished the dam.
One last question: what were you doing previous to coming up with this design?
I had invented a motorcycle lock for Harley Davidsons, and it stayed on the motorcycle all the time. Replaced the rear wheel spacer, and so that's why I had the Harley. So I did that for years, and it was fun. But then I got this. I go, there's something here.
Have you always been a kind of a serial inventor?
Oh God, yeah. I broke everything in my earlier life because I gotta fix it. But yeah, I've always been that, and I've always fixed things. Just crazy stuff.
And I guess just not now because you've piqued my curiosity, but outside of Stage 8, have you invented other stuff along the way since you've been involved in this business?
Oh yeah, I've got 86 patents on that.
86.
Yeah, but they don't make you the money. You've got to market it.
Right, you have to.
Because if I come to hand you something, look at this is the greatest thing in the world, and you don't know what it is.
Forget about it.
There's nothing. But the one I let get away. 50 years ago, I invented Velcro shoelaces because my son couldn't
get out of here.
I'm dead serious. And 10 years later, they're everywhere. That one hurt.
Woof. Yeah.
But after that, I decided I'm not going to let them get away. But patents get expensive.
Yep.
They run about $4 or $5 grand for a proper search and everything like that. Let's see. I did. See what I just recently I did for bocce. You ever played bocce?
Yeah.
Well, I invented a measuring system for between the bocce balls that stays on the tape measure. It has a little magnet and a little hook over the side. That works out fine. But I finished making the first 1,000 of them the day COVID got closed down with COVID. So I've got a lot of mouth and just.
I could become a bocce guy. Yeah.
And what else? I got a lot of stuff for the military, especially for the armored doors on the MRAPs.
Okay.
And that was a scary situation, but we made a couple of million volts for those doors, but they didn't want them.
Yeah. Man, I can't thank you. It's a fascinating conversation, and it is really one of the tried and true products that is in this building. If you have never used Stage 8 Locking Fasteners and you're complaining about having to keep tightening your headers down or something, buy a set. It'll be the best money you ever spent. Bruce, thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more right after this.